Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Hansen, and in this video, I'm hoping to show you how to use Zoom to run your Toastmaster elections for your club. Zoom has a feature called polls, and to use this feature, the host of the meeting has to set up these polls so that you can actuate them and start them up during the meeting themselves. You can actually add polls while the meeting is also underway. I'm going to go ahead and check the Zoom settings for my meeting. I have here a sample election meeting that I've created, and down at the bottom of the meeting settings you can create a poll. So let's say, for example, I want to add a new poll. Every poll can have one or more questions, and you can actually have multiple polls. Some people might suggest that you should have one poll for the entire election and different questions for each candidate that's being voted upon. I suggest you actually create a separate poll for each question, and that way you can control when people are answering the various questions. Otherwise, people can race ahead and choose other questions in your poll. So let's have for the first poll, for example, we were choosing a president. You can do an anonymous poll, which I think you will want to do for the election. Who do you want for president? And the first person is John Smith. Sorry, John Smith, if this is you. And Joe Blow. Hopefully there are no Joe Blows out there, although it wouldn't surprise me if there were one. So you can have as many candidates listed here as you want. Notice that we are specifying that you are choosing a single choice. You can't choose multiple people for president. One person, one vote. And then when you're done, you don't need to add an additional question. The one question is fine, and you hit save, and you'll now see, where's going on here, that we have here the one poll created, the poll for president with one question, and it's anonymous. You can add as many additional polls here as you want, one for each position. And I suggest that even if you are planning on having somebody win by acclamation, if you think there's any chance that a candidate could nominate themselves from the floor, go ahead and create that poll ahead of time with the one person. You can easily add another person while the meeting is running. And I'm going to show you now how to run the meeting and create and to activate the polls during the meeting. So we'll go ahead and start this meeting. And here we are within the meeting. You'll notice it says cannot start video. That's because I am also recording this at the same time. So the recording software has grabbed a hold of the video camera so that you cannot see it. But that is me in all of my glory. Okay, so you'll notice along the bottom of the view here we have various buttons. And polls is the one that the host can access. So again, this does have to be done by the host. Once the meeting is running, the host can assign a co-host if they want to, and the co-host can actually run the polls themselves if they wish. But the actual editing of the polls, to the best of my knowledge, has to be done on the website, and those polls, the website can only be accessed by the person who is the official host of the meeting. Let's go ahead and hit the polls button. You'll see there is one poll specified right now, and because there's one poll, I have one option to start the polling. If we had multiple polls, we could see them here. So let's go ahead and say, oh gosh, we've got a candidate from the floor. So we can hit edit, and you'll notice it automatically launches another browser window. This is my original window back here. It launches this other browser window and says you want to go ahead and edit this poll. And here it's asking, assuming I want to add a poll, I'm going to hit cancel here. You'll notice we have one poll for the meeting. I can edit this poll. Who do you want for president? Stacy, floor candidate. There, for lack of a better name. Stacy, floor candidate, is also going to be a candidate. And then let's go ahead and save this. Here's a save button on here. I made my screen very small so that everybody would be able to view it easily, but as a result it requires that I scroll quite a bit more than I normally would have to do. So now you'll see we've got our original poll here. Let's say while the meeting is running even, we can go ahead and add another poll. And let's look for VP Education. Anonymous, who do you want for the VP of Education? And let's look for good teacher. Is the one person's name. Sorry, my ability to come up with these names is exhausted. And let's have know-it-all. So we now have another poll created. You'll see now here on our list of polls at the bottom, we've got poll number 1, President, poll number 2, VP of Education. Each of them has one question. If we come back to our meeting now, you'll see that I now have the ability to choose which poll I wanted to ask. So in this case, if we're about to do the presidential poll, we can hit President. We can then launch the polling. And what you will see here as the host is you will see the various votes coming in. Attendees now viewing questions. You'll see here it says 0 of 0, but that's because I'm running a meeting with only myself, and as the host I cannot vote directly. So the host will have to give their vote to whoever is keeping track of the votes personally. And I should mention here, it is probably a wise idea to assign a co-host, even if the host is the person who's running the election, because the co-host will also be able to see the voting as it happens, and they'll get some ideas to the correctness of the poll to make sure that you're not miscounting something or misrepresenting something. So I do suggest you have a co-host. So as people are voting, you'll see the numbers go up here. Eventually you'll see all the people have voted. You might want to set a specific time to do this. And then automatically end at a certain point in case the person wants to abstain, and then at some point you're going to end the polling. It then gives you the option to either share the results or to relaunch the polling. Within your club, you may want everybody to see how many votes everyone got, but I suspect what you'll want to do is just take note of the results at that point and then close the poll, and then you can send as a chat message the results to whoever might need to announce who the winner was, if you don't want to announce it directly after closing the poll. To do this, of course, we can go into the chat menu. We can choose who we're going to send it to. Of course, there are no other people, so it would end up being everyone, but you can choose a different person here. And then president is whoever. So that's how you can go ahead and send that message out. Press enter and it gets sent to whoever it was you directed it to. And that, in a nutshell, is how you can use polls within Zoom to run your Toastmasters Club elections. I hope this is helpful. Have yourself a great day.